Happy day, YouTube. My name is John, and this is my channel, The Intermancer. Today is going to be something a little bit, this episode is going to be something a little bit different than what I've been doing. I've been working on my genetic algorithm framework that I call Gaia F. But since the last video I made, I realized that the data file I am starting to use for my evaluator, because I got into the point where I'm now at the point where I'm working on the evaluator for the organisms. And I realized that the data file I have is not ordered correctly. It's a CSV of historical open, high, lows, closed data for the Dow Jones Industrial Index, but it goes from most recent dates to the 10 years ago dates. So it's in reverse order. I needed to go from further out dates and move forward in time as you go down the file, just to process things better, so that I'm predicting forward values instead of predicting reverse values. Now, theoretically, it should work the same either direction as far as the system, but I'd like it to go the other direction. Now, I don't want to fix that file using Java. I'm going to take this opportunity to see how well Claude can help me do something with a technology that I'm not very familiar with. And I'm not very familiar with Python. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Claude to help me use Python to fix the data file. Here, real quick, let me go to the, so let's see, CD Intermancer, code, Gaia F core, source, main, resources, training data, cat, historical. And you can see that the dates go from high dates, higher to lower dates. And the first line of the file is just the titles, or the header. It's the header row. So what I want to do is I want to use Python to keep the header row as the first row and just reverse everything else. So let's go over to Claude. Start a new chat. I'm in Claude. I have a CSV file that is in the wrong order. It has a header row that I want to leave as the first row, but I want to reverse all of the other rows. I would like to do this with Python, but I'm not very familiar with Python. How do I proceed? Okay, now I have some familiarity with Python. You can see here, this is head first Python. I've read some of it. I've gone through a couple of chapters, but years ago. So here's a simple Python solution to reverse the rows in your CSV file while keeping the header in place. Python import pandas as PD, df PD your file, df reversed, except the header, which pandas automatically treats as columns names. Huh. And so pandas is apparently something that just does that. Okay, so how do I know if Python is installed on this machine? Python minus version. Okay. Python version. Okay. How do I install Python on a Mac? Go to Python. Homebrew. Okay, so let's see here. Let's do it this way. Okay, so we're installing Homebrew. Obviously, I haven't installed it on this machine. I don't do a lot of installing on a personal machine because mostly I use my work machine for work, and most of my personal computing is on my iPad. So here we are. Run these commands to add Homebrew to your path. Okay, we'll do that. Okay. Which brew? Okay. So we're there. And now I can just say brew install Python. Brew install Python. Boy, it sure does do a lot for you, doesn't it? Okay. So then I can say cd Gaia Intermancer code Gaia F core source main dir Python. And I can just VI the reverse CSV.py, reverse CSV.py. Okay. Okay, first I have to pip install pandas. No pip. Pip is not installed. How do I install pip with brew? Python 3 minus version 396 pip 3 pip 3. Okay, so it has it. So okay, so pip 3. Install pandas. Pip 3 install pandas. Okay. Okay. It's got all that. So the file name, your file.csv. This is in Python. Source main Python. So go up one, and then down to resources, then to training data. Can I do it as a command line argument? How make the pandas version you first gave me take a command line argument for the file location and the output file. Okay. Python 3. Okay, so let's copy this. So Python 3 reverse csv.py resources, training data, resources, training data, historical prices, reversed .csv. $2,578 rows. Okay. So CD, resources, training data, ls, and more, historical prices reversed, 15, 18, 19, 20. Okay. And it's got, okay, it looks like everything worked. Great. I used Claude successfully to do a tiny Python script, even though I know next to nothing about Python. That was fun, and it only took about 15 minutes, including installing Python and having to learn the commands. So that was pretty sweet, pretty easy. Let me see, let me read this thing. It's got a whole usage thing here, def. So this, I bet this is a comment. Yeah, reverse, read CSV, reverse all the rows except the header. So this is only going to work, I bet, with stuff that fits completely in memory, which is fine. And file not found error. All right. So input file, output file, it sends these in. Then here it takes it as an argument. Okay, good to know. All right, that was easy. That was quick. Thank you for your time. I'll talk to you next time, where we are going to completely revisit the basic evaluator. We're going to go ahead and give it a data source to step through the data so that we can, or at least we're going to configure the file name. But we got to completely redo the streaming stuff that it did. That stuff is just trash. Until then, thank you.